Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. And today we got special guest. We got Kid Icarus. He autographed this copy of Scooby Doo and the what is this? The Shites. That's what he autographed it. We got the man himself, the boy, the legend. We got Gus Webb, also known as the Nostalgia Kid, also known as my man 420 Shaggy Lover 69, and of course we also got him as MC Webster on the classic tracks such as Corey in the House 2.0. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for having me on here.
Anytime, man. Always ready to help out the content creator brothers. Alright, so the first question is, what was life like for you before you started making content?
Really, pretty boring, if I could say that. Didn't really do anything content-wise. I started off trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Started doing classic thing that's on YouTube now, tutorials. Then hold off. Maybe if I was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, it would help, but it didn't. Then later on in 2011, I started watching other content creators. This was when I was in middle school. I started watching people like Cinemasker with the Angry Video Game Nerd and Channel Asshole. I mean Channel Awesome with the Nostalgia Critic. Guess which one I like now.
Let's see. Is it the one that doesn't have massive controversy on him?
I was like, maybe I could do something like that. It's I tried doing something like an AVGN type of thing. I cannot, because I was essentially a Guptail A9 trying to start this off. I couldn't curse because oh jeez, my mom and dad would hear me, they'd ground me.
Remember, there's no swearing allowed on my Christian Minecraft Roblox server.
It's that didn't work out. Then I started doing more a nostalgia critic type of thing. This later moved on to a sort of a small video thing I wanted to show off in my middle school language arts class. It was a review of Doug's first movie. I explained this in my the video on my Vimeo page, my 5-year anniversary video, where I essentially did a review of Doug's first movie. Not really. It was just me copying Doug's review in in a more condensed way, just to make it it's okay, I want to make this good, but I don't want to waste up people's time, because I don't want people to think I'm try-hardy or boring. So it was 7 minutes. I was okay, I showed that, they liked it. I'm alright, that was just one thing I could just throw away. Then I started trying to do that again in 2012 with helping out my friend Cody Slusher, Critical Kid. I started helping him a little bit with his first video, Books vs. Films on Frankenstein, where I helped did the original intro for Books vs. Films. Then later on in the summer, I joined him in a collab video on The Little Rascals. This was when I was not the Nostalgia Kid. This was when I was trying to be another personality called The Weird Reviewer. Essentially, that was me trying to be a spoony type wannabe, where I was doing both video games and movies. It didn't work out well, put that short. So then in late 2012, when Dogwalker should have ended the Nostalgia Critic, I gained back up to start doing nostalgia episodes. My first one being Don't Look Under the Bed.
Hi, Critical Kid.
So, what are you reviewing?
I'm reviewing Don't Look Under the Bed.
Cool, can I review it with you?
Fine, since you interrupted my review, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and don't look under the bed.
I figured I'd try this out, see what happens, and I had Cody help me with this. The first two episodes, Don't Look Under the Bed and Goosebumps on Mask, were both collab videos where we were trying to do the thing. It's oh no, we hate each other. Oh no, we don't. We don't, by the way. We're good friends in real life. We've been friends for almost 10 years. So, because June, I think Morgan talked about this in one of the old Swig Talks. The whole angry critic shtick, where it's oh no, I don't want to do it. Oh no, wait. It's shut the fuck up. This show's been going on for 10 years. I'm not doing it anymore. So it's okay, then I tried. Then a few years later, I get my own type of personality, even though I'm still under the name Nostalgia Kid, which more is of a handle now than it is, because I am not a kid anymore. A guy in his 20s. because like I want to try to do things different with these, because like because I don't want to try to be, because even though I'm still inspired by say Cinemassacre, no longer inspired by Channel Awesome, because like I can't be a ripoff of the AVGN. That's what the Everyday Gamer's for, and and I can't be a carbon copy of the Nostalgia Critic. That's what Dogwalker's for. Listen, I can say that I'm never gonna meet that man.
Well, damn, I booked him for next month. No, I didn't. For real, I did not.
So that was essentially me before doing being a content creator, then how I started out. Apologies for the long story. That was essentially a thesis.
Well, and you basically answered the second question I have, which was inspiration to become a content creator. You said, like a lot of the other people that have been featured here, it was either the Afghan or the Nostalgia Crickets.
And another one, I'm being Linkar from Top to Fourth Wall. I forgot that.
Welcome to a Top to Fourth Wall. We're bad comics, bird.
You got a 2-for-1 deal with that question.
So, like you said, you created the Nostalgia Kid, and that's your review show where you talk about movies. I might as well get the movie question. I had that listed after this, but what makes you decide the movies that you want to talk about on the show? Like, what is the process that makes you go, this needs to be talked about on my reviews?
Really, it just depends for like if it could give me enough material to work with, because like sometimes like for a review, it's like if I'm watching a movie like. For example, 2017, I was going to do the Nickelodeon movie Monster Trucks. I was watching it, and it's like stupid, but it's like there's nothing really like clicking with me. It's like, because if I was trying to do something, then I'd be stretching. So it has to be like the perfect target for a bad for like a bad movie, if that makes any sense, because I always mix up with doing either a bad movie or a good movie that I enjoy. Mostly it's just if I get enough material out of it to make a 20 to 25 minute episode.
And with the Nostalgia Kid, you have not that many characters, but you do have 3 faces you always use. The main one is obviously you with the Nostalgia Kid handle, which would you say that's really a character, or would you say that's more of like what John Tron and Kid Icarus do, where it's just kind of like, it's a stage name basically?
Yeah, I think it could also be a stage name, because like even though like it first started off as a character, it's more of a stage name where it's essentially like an over-the-top version of myself, because like I could sometimes be over the top in my videos, but most of the time I'm really like down to earth, where it's like I don't do like crazy shit that often, but it's like for like a video I do like the dumbest shit for that. Lots of examples. The freak out, the mental breakdown a bit from the Woody Woodpecker episode, where it's like he can slip through the bars. Why can't he slip through the bars? And I start like shaking the camera like, why are you doing this to me? But like that, because like sometimes I try, like most of the time I'm more toned down for those, because like I'm, like I said during the first question, I'm not trying to be like too try hard, like look at me, I'm funny.
You're not trying to be like, I'm back, Critic, to kill you.
No, I'm not trying to be like a wanting child. No, that's another example where it's like I'm trying to like see like if I can give my opinion out on something, like not wanting to be like a child, like kicking and screaming on the floor, like like I want this toy. No, listen to me. No, not that. I'm trying to like essentially. Okay, this is pretty hard because I don't know how to go at this, because like. Yeah, it's more of a over-the-top version of myself, where, like I said, it's more of a handle, but it's more a characterized version of myself, because there's nothing really different. Than it's just my opinion, but I essentially wear a costume.
It's basically just an exaggerated version of you, which there's a lot of that nowadays. A lot of people still do that kind of thing, but it's like you said with Morgan. With the Morgan episode of SwigTalk, where we talked about how that whole like caustic critic kind of the angry reviewer trope is kind of dead basically. No one really does that kind of shit anymore.
Even I even I'm guilty of this in my earlier episodes, which I know some people can like some of my reviews, like say the Cool Cap one. That's an example of one that people can enjoy, but the rest of them are not good. Even when you're a content creator who do not like your old videos, don't lie to yourself. You don't like your old videos. You do not.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that.
It's like you're trying to do like that whole caustic critic thing, because that's what I see a lot in reviews, like reviewers who are starting off. They're trying to do like essentially nostalgia critic, where they're trying to be angry and trying like essentially forcing it with it, because from what I get, comedy is you have to make sure you think this will make people laugh, not try to force it out, because if you're forcing it out, then you won't know if people are laughing until the final product is out there.
As for the other characters, you don't, like I said, you don't have that many characters, but you do have two other ones. You have Billy the Orphan, and you have 420 Shaggy Lover 69. So where would you say, what was the first videos to ever have these characters, and what was your process with creating these guys?
Billy the Orphan was actually in my third ever episode, which was a Christmas episode, where I reviewed Santa with Muscles. I'm not a big fan of that episode by any means, because it was essentially a ripoff of Spoonie's video, Noah Antweiler, where it was just beat for beat the same type of script, but just worded a different way, which I'm also going to give this advice to also do not do this, because people will catch on. It's like, this is essentially this other person's review, because I've had this happen before, where, can I give an example here where this really hurts me? When I did the Batman vs. Dracula video, that was essentially me copy and pasting the Bob Show's video. I like Bob Show, and I feel really guilty that I did this, so I really apologize for that. And the same thing with Santa with Muscles. For where Billy came in, it was essentially because in the movie, there's a catacomb under the church of this orphanage. I have no idea why. So what happened is, if somebody drops these crystals, they spontaneously combust. I don't know why. I don't know why I remember this after almost 8 years. But one of the caretakers is like, "Hey, come on, Joe, come on, let's get out of here." And I do the voice. I was like, "Come on, get out of here. You don't want to know what happened to little Billy." And essentially, Billy is like my version of Kenny, where it's like, bad things always happen to this poor kid. I don't know why. So he comes in, grabs a crystal, which is actually a TV remote, because they're purple crystals, essentially the crystals from Crash Bandicoot. I essentially kind of make that a running gag where this poor kid gets hurt. I don't know why I've done this joke. I don't do it that often because I think it would get stale, but time after time I would bring Billy back. I think the last time I used him was either for Ghostbusters 2016 or the Reanimated episode. I'm not entirely sure. That character being 420 Shaggy Lover 69. This was when I was working on the Scooby-Doo live-action marathon, which, by the way, was probably the best/worst idea I've ever done, because burnout. That's all I can say about it. I would go into more, but that would be going to more of the bad shit that's happened this year. Which, no. 420 Shaggy Lover 69. This was when I was writing the first video for the marathon, which was the two Roger Gosnell Scooby-Doo movies. This was around the beginning of the Shaggy memes, where it's like 1% or 2% of his power. It's the same percentage as milk for some reason. I don't know what that is. It's like, I've only used 1% of my power, and it's like all these memes, like, him taking up Thanos and going, "Can't we see that in Avengers Endgame?" Because I was talking to a friend of mine. I think it was Stevie.
I think I know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys kind of look the same. I don't know if you get that in videos.
I think he's the guy that pays all of our taxes for these videos.
I can see a likeness.
Yeah.
So I was telling him this, and it's like, okay, I want to make like a meme lord for this character. So it's like, what do? Then I got the inspiration from actually your video for Corey in the House.
Like, bro, did you know that Corey in the House is like the best anime ever made?
Essentially the voice, because the voice is essentially like this, like essentially kind of like what Linkara does for 90s Kid. Just go like this, like, and you get a little bit of the Cool Cat voice in there. I do, It's like, I'm 420 Shaggy Level 69. Now come on, kids, follow me to the Cool Cat Mobile. Exquisite! So, it's essentially that voice. Not good for long periods of shooting, because after I filmed that video, my voice was completely shot. Where because I'm talking normally like now, then I'm doing this voice, then after filming, I sounded like this. And that is not good. Because I was up to like 2 in the morning filming this video. So it's like, okay, what do I do? I need like a dumb hat. So the hat I had was essentially a Flash snapback that I got the previous year. Then a shirt that my brother got me. I believe it was for either Christmas or my birthday, where it's like I think it said if I die or if anything happens to me, delete my search history.
Now I'm gonna tell people about Corey in the House, the greatest anime ever made. See you later, hater.
The 90s Kid edgelord, basically.
That's a good example, an edgelord, because he's just making everything to be a demigod because of the whole memes that went around.
So, one big part of your channel, especially recently, has been the show Mystery Science Theater 3000, because it's one of your favorite shows of all time. What inspired you to decide to start making videos about the show?
Well, actually, because, to be fair, Mystery Science here was my inspiration into comedy. So, I think it was around the time when the Kickstarter came out for the new season, where it was like, the Kickstarter when it was almost at $6.3 million for a full 14-episode season. So, and I started off with a tribute / kind of retrospective on it, which it's not good. It's just me giving a history lesson on the show from when it started off on KTMA to Comedy Central, when it was Joel, then it went to Mike, and then it went to Sci-Fi, then the show ended, picking up to where the show is going to be now with the Kickstarter. What started the work on making the videos for Mystery Science here, mostly with MST3K Week, because around that time, the show was about to celebrate its 30-year anniversary. So I figured I'd do a week-long string of videos. So I was like, okay, do I do these as myself, or do I do these as Nostalgia Kid episodes, which are pretty much the same thing? So I figured I'd just make these standard Nostalgia Kid episodes, which could be either 4, 9, or even almost 20 minutes long, which has happened. So it went from me talking about KTMA to the history behind the Mystery Science Theater movie, to the host segments, to the 10 worst movies featured on the show, to the cartoon, then to my favorite episodes at the time, which may or may not change now because of season 12, and now at this time, season 11. I'm working on the second year of that. I know second year doesn't really mean anything because this would have been for 2019 and it's now 2020. I'm still working on it. I want to get halfway through, which has not been easy because of 2020. Jesus Christ. But I'm trying to work on it, so because it's been 6 months since I haven't made a video, so I want to try to get this. I want to try to get this off my plate because it's been a long ass project I've been working on now. Because I want to say MST3K Week, the first year started I want to say around the same time as right now, June of 2018. So I want to say about this. This is about like 5 or 6 years I'm doing. Even though I started a little bit of the pre-production during this time last year, so almost an entire year I've been working on this. But then again, I wasn't making like other videos talking about Cartoon Dog around that time, so it's been a little hectic, but I'm trying to get back into it. So that's what got me into. Well, so yeah, that's what. To answer your question, also, that's what got me into doing the doing videos for Mystery Science. Here was the tribute video for the because of the Kickstarter happening, and then for the 30th anniversary of the show.
Then we get to some of the side projects that you're associated with. The two that you have is you're one of the 4 hosts on Drive-In Mutants. We've talked about this before with the episodes with James and Morgan, and you also have Let's Watch. So can you, for anyone who probably isn't up to date with any of these, you mind explaining what these are?
Well, Drive-In Mutants and Let's Watch are almost kind of the same thing. First off, with Drive-In Mutants, these are streams that go on for about 3 or 4 hours, given the length of the movie or what we do, because the structure of a Drive-In Mutants live stream is pre-show, then we catch up with the audience, know what's going on, then we talk about what's going on in our lives, so that takes about a half hour or so. Then we get to the movie, which depends on the runtime, like either about 90 or so minutes or about 2 hours, and then we give our thoughts and we end the stream. But I should also stress that we also do a trivia contest where we give out prizes for grand prize and consolation prize with about 5 or 6 questions that go into that. So whoever is providing the movie for that night, they have to be in charge for the prizes, or the prizes and the questions, as well as the movies. Then we give the time of the movie out. It's like say we're about halfway through this movie. Remember, we have a trivia contest going on, so we give people enough time to be able to answer these questions, and then we continue on with the movie. Then we read out the answers to the questions. Then we pick out a winner for either the grand prize and the consolation prize. Let's Watch is, like I said, almost the same thing, but more a condensed version. But both of these are the same thing, because we're essentially doing commentary on the fly riffing. Essentially a very impromptu version of MST3K. So what goes on in that is for Let's Watch, they're mostly for Nostalgia Kid episodes. The only exception we've done for this was for the Bye Bye Man, which was actually for a scrapped Nostalgia Kid episode I was doing for Craftober last year. Couldn't find anything to really write down to structure for a video, so that was scrapped for a Let's Watch. Another one we had was for Doolittle, which that was a Drive-In Mutants special Let's Watch, because we heard how bad that movie was. We needed to check that out. So the only thing I can say about it is Iron Man fists a dragon's asshole. That's the only thing I can take away from that movie, is seeing Robert Downey Jr. essentially turning Aragon into a puppet. That's the only thing I can take away from that damn movie.
Oh God, that's gotta taste bad.
Wait.
Wait.
Nothing to be ashamed of. We all do it.
I've seen Iron Man fist a dragon's asshole.
Can I just say this dragon is the cleanest asshole I've ever seen?
Oh, and just as a self-promotion, I guess, for anyone who wants a best of or compilation of moments from Let's Watch, that's on the second channel. It'll be linked in the description, and you can also find it on the Vimeo. And just like with the Jaime Tude and Morgan Ledger episodes, I'll also link the Drive-In Mutants Twitch account, so that you guys can check that out whenever y'all want to.
Also, I should also stress that when we do live streams, they're usually on the weekend. We only do one per weekend, or else it would be too stressful and too crazy. The only time we did this was for the Sci-Fi Tac Marathon last year, which we all admit was pretty hectic to try to get together. It was pretty stressful. So we only do like one every Saturday. Sometimes we take a break. It's like, for example, like if it's too hectic, then we like give ourselves a week off. Then we go back to it. So it's always like one a week. So if you want to know when those are, it's always a Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/HiMayTude.
So, and speaking of working with people, next question is, what were some of your favorite videos to do with your fellow content creators? Favorite collaborations, crossover videos? What was one of your like favorite examples of those?
The first one being the live-action Year Fast Santa Claus with our friend the Media Wiz.
Oh yeah, Wiz Khalifa, that guy.
I think because we watched the original movie before this, then we watched the live-action one and seen how much it can depart from the original Rankin Bass special, and essentially making fun of the elves that were in the original. How I forget the one guy's name, but the fat guy from My Name Is Earl and Eddie Griffin, where we said it was essentially Christy. They're essentially a movie version of you and Christy Ian.
It just came to me. These are the elf versions of MC Swigga and Chris T. Ian. Okay, I can do this. Slow and steady wins the game. Come on, man, you got this. Gotta collect them tokens, man. Ah, shit, yeah, this shit is my jam. Yes, it is really light as heck, as they say. Hey, at least they're more memorable than Jingle and Jangle in this movie.
And another one was with our friend Austin Trench, and that was on the first Rob Zombie Halloween video, because it's like, I always want, because like we were talking about doing a collaboration. The most recent one to bring up was for the G.I. Joe ones, which I don't know when we're going to do that, but for now I just was like, hey, we have conflicting opinions on Rob Zombie's Halloween. I kind of enjoyed it, and you don't like it. You want to team up, and it's like, okay, we'll do that.
So, should we start the movie?
Oh, yeah. This is Halloween.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Not that one. It doesn't have that much on-camera stuff. Like, it was mostly a picture of him for this. So it's like, okay, what do I do? Because, like, it's just me staring at a photo. And it comes at it again where I was like, so we have in store next time. And I go, oh, Rob Zombie's Halloween too. Oh, you want to do this one with me? And it just shows him leaving with faded car noises in the background. I'm like, yeah, that's the best reaction I can get. So, those two that can come to my mind is the Year Fast Santa Claus video and the Halloween 2007 video.
And in a similar vein, and this just goes for any of your videos in general, what would you say was your proudest moment of video making and your least favorite moment? Like, what are your all-time favorite Nostalgia Kids and least favorite Nostalgia Kid videos?
Well, let's be honest, least favorite episodes to make? Probably my old videos. That's easy to do. Because what am I supposed to say? I'm a content creator and I hate my old videos. What am I supposed to do? Because like they're pretty cringy when you look back at them. Because like it's like a kid who started off in middle school, who's about ending middle school, his slow progression out of high school. It's like what do you do here? It's like he's like a kid who like knows what the world is already, trying to like sound smart and sophisticated. Like, oh, if they watch Nostalgia Critic, I know what I'm talking about. No, you don't, man. Okay, shut up. No, you don't. Some of my older videos I'm not that big on. I'm sure there were some hidden gems in there, like, for example, 50 Shades, even though there was one joke I don't like in that, looking back, which was a really tasteless rape joke. I did not like that at all when I wrote that in. I don't know why I did. Because, like, now, you know, I'm 18 years old. I could be an edgy reviewer with this joke. It's like, no, it's horrible. Why did I write that? So, that's one thing I don't like. And if I could say for hidden gems in there, one that still have a soft spot in my heart was when the first two Sharknado videos with Mia Wiz and Patrick Alexander, because those were my first collaborations where I got to be in the same room with people. It's like those videos still hold a soft spot in my heart because I got to meet these people for the first time, and it was so cool, like working with other people. This will go into the best ofs, my best episodes. Cool Cat Saves the Kids was one I always wanted to do. Like, no, you can't do this. Bob Show did it. This guy did it. I Hate Everything did it. Your Movie Sucks did it. All these other people were talking about Cool Cat at the time. So it's like, what can I do that's different? It's like, I can't do anything big or drastic, so I just did, normal. It's like, what do? I don't know. Then the option for the guest show segment on Bob Show's channel showed up. So it was like, this is my chance. I essentially came out like the Hulk in Avengers Endgame. It's like I was made for this.
Come on, kids! Follow me to the Cool Catmobile! Exquisite!
Morgan finally saw that video this year. He loved... Every time I do that Cool Cat bit, he just laughs his ass off, and I love it. I really do. Because it's so... It's like an easy pedophile joke, and I already did a pedophile joke in that video with the pedal bear, which was like one of my old gags I used to do. But I think the van with the Microsoft Paint free candy drawn on there is like the funniest thing ever. And then it started the whole thing of Cool Cat, like a small short storyline, which I normally don't do for videos because I think it's annoying. Started with that, then went to Batman vs. Dracula, which I'm not a fan of. Then ended with 9 Lives. Made perfect sense because that's a cat movie. Everyone was kind of like an epic around that same year for 9 Lives was the reanimated episode, which that one was. It was a really proud one I did. Maybe the movie wasn't that bad. I mean, this was during a time where Cartoon Network was having many ups and downs, so what if Reanimated wasn't the film that killed the channel and it was just the fault of fried dynamite? Nah, the movie's still a piece of shit. I'm off to watch the new season of Mystery Science Theater 3000. There's a few in 2017 I liked. There was the one on the Bubsy cartoon, which was a very short and simple one that was like 12 minutes of a half-hour cartoon. Oh, this must be my dream. I like it. Another one I could say that's also pretty good, but it's more okay in my opinion, which was my 5-year anniversary video, which was Tom and Jerry and Willy Wonka. I think that was also a pretty okay episode. I wasn't able to be that active on it because at the time, mostly up until the next one I want to bring up, Jason X, most of these were being written by my friend Cody Slusher, which we no longer do that type of way because you could tell that it's not me that's saying these lines, it's somebody else that's writing that. So it's like, okay, maybe I can make a joke here, but it's like, no, then I gotta do this here. So you can tell there's a big difference between, like, if you watch the videos back then to how they're being written now, you can tell there's a massive difference on how I essentially act in a video. So that one was pretty okay because I wasn't that active on it because I was going through a lot of crap. I had a family member pass away at that time, so it was pretty stressful trying to get back into then. I was trying because I was more hanging out with most of my family at the time, mostly with my brother and his kid because being around my nephew and him knowing all this and essentially loving him to death because family is more important than making a dumb little internet video. So the next one I think is where I hit my peak on content was Jason X. That one was when I started writing notes for these videos. It took me 5 years to finally do this, and now so it's like, okay, I essentially write down jokes and notes. Because, most of my reviews now are just me, summarizing what's going on, say, in this part of the movie, or this part of the movie, or this part of the movie, with sometimes riffs thrown in there. So, And yeah, I still critique the movie, but most of the time it's also riffs. This was when I was also watching it with Cody, and when he brought that the security guard in the beginning looked like Andrew Garfield, and he gets killed, I'm like, well, he died faster than the Amazing Spider-Man series. Wow, JC killed him faster than the Amazing Spider-Man film series. That got a big laugh. I'm like, I'm putting this in the video. Even though it did come out Friday the 13th, I ran out of time, and that's really stunk. I have a lot of favorite videos that go on from year to year. I apologize, by the way. The next one is Max Keeble's Big Move. I loved this movie as a kid. I watched it as a live stream on my birthday this year, and even though we all agreed that it doesn't age well, I still have a soft spot for this movie. I do. Because, like, you know, and also, it came around that same time where it's like, I had a hard time reviewing a good movie, or, you know, say, like, with Mystery Science, we were talking about a good thing that I enjoy, because you never know if you can make it funny. But, just like Max Keeble and MST3K, those are easily some of my favorite episodes I've ever made in that year. Sure, it makes no sense out of a lot of parts, but that's what makes it entertaining. The best example I can give is what Adam from the Blockbuster show said about Good Burger. It's incredibly flawed and has stupid moments, but the film does have a nostalgia factor to it. I think anyone who grew up around my time would agree on films we used to watch as kids. Some examples being this, Snow Day, and Good Burger. I definitely recommend you check this one out. It won't be anything special for you, but with how kids' films are nowadays, you should take it for what it's worth. Then after that was episode 75, which was, at the time, my longest review to date, being at 43 minutes, I want to assume? Yeah, it's at 43 minutes, which was my longest review at the time. Now, it actually is my longest review still, because at the end of the Max Keeble review, I decided, hey, it's my 75th episode, I might as well let people do a viewer's choice. So I had it be either the Emoji Movie or Woody Woodpecker. I gotta make more choices for this, because what happened was it ended in a tie. So I did two movies at once. So that was the Emoji Movie and Woody Woodpecker, and both have their own level of bad. One just being run-of-the-mill bad, while the other is horrendous. And this was when, after I took a break from that for episode 75, I started working on MST3K week. Then I realized I need to break from this because this stressed me out. So I'm like, okay, what can I do next? I'll do more work. So I made some Halloween episodes. Two from Craptober, which are my favorites, are Jacko.
Hey, get out of the yard!
And Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I actually remembered really enjoying this movie when I was in the 5th grade, which, you know, I can understand because, like, you know, I was getting into the Halloween series again. The problem was, I was in the 5th grade. So I rewatched the movie. I'm like, okay, now this is getting annoying. Why did I enjoy this? Okay, why is there a flashing light? Why did my eyes hurt? And then, one thing I'll always take away from that video is the two endings, both the theatrical and the unrated endings, which always make me want to pull the hair out of my head when thinking about it, because I absolutely hate the endings in that movie. I really do.
Was that the bad movie?
As a matter of fact, it was. Hey, call Blockbuster Video! Tell the manager, it's on the loose!
Is this some kind of a joke? I've been trick-or-treated like hell tonight. You don't know what hell is.
Also, the reason why I did both Rob Zombie Halloween movies at the time was because the 2018 movie was coming out. So I was like, okay, I'll have this be a perfect tie-in. And also, the two videos came out around the same time because I was about to go to Philly for the Mystery Science Theater 30th Anniversary Tour, which I had a lot of fun there. Because I got to see both shows. I got to see The Brain and Deathstalker 2. After that was MST3K week. Once again, I really apologize if these best episodes are taking too long.
I don't know, it's fine.
And I think by far right now, MST3K might be my favorite episode I've done, in my opinion. Because like I get to inform people, and if you follow the dominoes, without this show, I would not be where I am today. I pretty much like exhausted myself with making at least almost 15 videos that year. So I was like, what the hell, I'll make a simple Christmas episode talking about another favorite movie from my childhood, Snow Day, which doesn't hold up as much, but it's still a fun movie. Some parts are good, some are cute, some are hilariously over the top, and some are creepy. Much like Max Keeble's Big Move, the majority of it is stupid, but honestly that's what makes it fun to watch. Is it dumb? Yeah. But it's that type of dumb that makes me come back to it time after time. When you look back at it. 2019, I got to finish the 50 Shades trilogy. Finally. And Scooby-Doo, which took up most of my year. I think some of my favorite reviews from then were most definitely the first two live-action movies, then Curse of the Lake Monster, and Daphne and Velma. Daphne and Velma might be a close second in those line of reviews because of how uniquely bad that movie is. If you want to know more about it, I did the review of it, and there's also a Let's Watch on, which was actually the first Let's Watch I ever did with Stevie.
Oh my god, how is it that this chase scene is so lazy that oh my god!
Gus, it's all about character. It's all about character.
Shut up!
That was Craptober, which took longer than expected. For Craptober that year, I did Ivy Lane, Halloween Night, and The Haunting Hour Don't Think About It. The Haunting Hour video was good, because, like, you know, I wanted to talk about another movie from my childhood, but the two best videos, in my opinion, from that Halloween season were most definitely Crybaby Lane, because that was actually one I've wanted to do for the longest time. I think since either 2013 or 2014. That was an episode I always wanted to do.
I don't have a driver's license. What? You said you did. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You are an idiot. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
And then Halloween Night, I always wanted to do this one too. I originally wanted to do this review, Halloween Night 2015, but due to a lot of personal crap that was going on in my life, I was not able to do it. So around May of last year, I got the DVD. It's like I only saw it through like a download file with Cody 5 years ago. I was like, okay, let's see how bad this is. Not only did I find out this is a ripoff of the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, keep in mind this is from the Asylum, it's not only one of the best bad movies I've seen because of how incompetent it's made.
Fucking sweet. I gotta take a shit. I'll see you later.
Can somebody please tell him that it's okay for his testicles to drop now? Hell, even David knows about it because he apologizes for his voice.
Sorry about my voice. Listen.
This is the 4th time I've gone for puberty. And proceeds to stab his sword on the top of Carl's head, where it shows a still frame?
Shannon!
Whoa, what the hell? Okay, for some reason, they decided to have the end credits be cropped. Or not. But also with a horrible DVD menu. The visual design of this thing is just a mess. The jack-o'-lantern from the DVD cover that appears on the menu has a big chunk taken out of it. And there are scenes of the movie that pop up every now and then with faded edges. But most of the time, you can see how feathery it is when the frame is getting cut off. And also my long thesis of favorite episodes I've done.
I mean, hey, it's good. I mean, I would love this to be like a really long episode because we haven't really had a like fucking podcast length episode on SwigTalk. So I mean, I would love it. I think this is great. It's great that we're going through this one by one. But anyway, last question we got here is upcoming projects and social media plugs if you want to do that.
Upcoming projects. Like I said, I am working on MST3K Week, year 2. I'm gonna try to get halfway through writing it, which is taking a long time than expected because with how the world is going right now with everything, especially COVID-19, a lot of stress that's going on, which is not healthy for somebody who's getting done with trying to get out of burnout, which is not really good for someone's mental health. But I'm trying to fight it, and I'm trying to get back into being motivated to work on these videos again because it's been 6 or 7 months since I haven't done an episode or released an episode. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. And then I think after that one, I'm gonna have 2 more videos for 2020. As for any social media plugs, like I said, I am a co-host on the Driving. I'm one of the few co-hosts. No, not just co-hosts. I'm just a few hosts on the Driving Mutants live streams over at twitch.tv/HighMaytude. Whenever this comes out, we're in the middle of doing Superhero Month over on the Driving Mutants, which is in June by the time we're making this. So we only got 2 more of these to do for that month. So we're doing Batman Forever, the Red Book edition, and I believe we're also doing the Phantom. No, not the Phantom, the Shadow, I believe. Whenever this comes out, that's where I'll be. I also have Twitter. I don't post there as often, but I'm at on Twitter. It's at Gus Webb 1. Also, I have a Facebook page. Not a Facebook group, just a page, just like a fan page. That is facebook.com/Nostalgia Kid, and any social media for like where I put my content. I usually put my stuff over on Vimeo, which is vimeo.com/channels/Nostalgia Kid, and I also have a YouTube channel. You'll also provide that in the description. Not a lot gets posted there because YouTube and their copyright claim system. Sometimes the videos get their claims removed, sometimes they don't. It sucks, and I can't do that. But most of the time, it's just trailers for the next episode, all with a link to provide to the episode.
All right, well, thank you very much, Gus, for being on this episode. It was great to have you, and this was an awesome sit-down and retrospective of the Nostalgia Kid and your content.
It was good being here. Thanks for having me on, man.
And as for future MC Swigga projects, as for this month, I already did a song. I did an original track that wasn't a parody for once, and I did a game review of Daffy Duck on SNES. As for Swigga videos coming up next month, I'm going to start working on an album, hopefully for the end of summer. It's going to be called Out by the Pool, so look forward to that. Hopefully we can have I can finally put summer album on my musician's resume, because we as legit music creators over here, we're not that SoundCloud wannabe rapper shit. No, we real over here. I'm going to be working on that. I'm going to be doing game reviews, and I'm going to be doing a Swig Talk. Hopefully with Shannon from Shannon Reviews, because she's another homie, and she said she was really up for doing it, so hopefully that's who we're going to have on next time. And as for game we're reviewing, it's going to be the GameCube version of the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, that's what we got coming up for Swigga content. And once again, thank you, Gus, for being on this episode of Swig Talk.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure being on here.
It's easy. Straight Outta Compton was the best movie of 2015, man.
Sir, I'm not asking what people's best movie in 2015 was. I'm asking what their personal worst movie in 2015 was.
Wait. Y'all saying that Straight Outta Compton was the worst movie of last year, man?
No, sir, I'm not saying that.
Well, man, this is some bullshit right now. This over here, this is some bullshit. Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus up in this. You need me? I'm gonna smoke some crack right now, man. This is bullshit.
What the hell just happened?